What's up, guys? This is Jumon Khan for the One-Eyed Dragons on YouTube. And today I decided I would go ahead and do another commentary video since I haven't uploaded it here in a few days and I've been struggling to really get content together. Been going to some doctor's appointments and stuff, so I just thought I would throw this video together because some interesting news has come down the pike. So in the video today, what you'll see is some people asked for different kind of gameplay stuff. So I've included some Ark Survival Evolved, which I really dislike, and I might do a commentary video on that. But I added that. I've added also some Transformers Devastation. And I think some Darksiders 2, which I just picked up. Which, if you haven't ever played that game, you should pick up Darksiders 2. It's on sale right now in the PlayStation Store for like, I think $5, and it's the Definitive Edition, which includes all the DLC and everything. So it's a really good buy at like $5. I would suggest you pick it up. So on to the video today. So what's the video about? Well, if you saw the title, yes, it's not a typo. When I started gaming in the 80s, the console I started gaming on was the wood-grained 77-looking Atari 2600. And I actually didn't own one. I actually started playing that at my cousin's house, and we played Defender. And I remember staying with them a whole weekend, staying up all weekend trying to flip that game, go from level 1 all the way through level 99 and start over again. And I think the first night we did it, if I remember right, but that was years ago. But recently, within the last week, I think that I actually think 7 days ago, Atari sort of hinted by not releasing a big press deal, not showing up at E3, but by actually coming out and putting out a little snippet video, which kind of shows like a little modern version of the Atari 2600 with the wood grain and everything. It's from the video. That's what it looked like anyway. They just put out this video, and this website pops up out of nowhere called Ataribox. And instantly, the industry, not big, but some names in the industry on YouTube and websites picked up on it, started asking questions and wondering what was going on. So, it's settled for a few days, and people were commenting back and forth, and everyone was wanting to know, is this for real? Is this going to be another flashback system? Is this a spoof website? What the hell's really going on here? And what ends up happening is someone gets an interview with the current Atari CEO, and he simply states that, yes, we are back in the hardware business. And to me, that says the Atari box, which is, I guess, what they're calling it. It's a horrible name. But Atari, for the first time since 1995, and the introduction, release, and failure of the Atari Jaguar, is putting out a new console called the Atari Box. And no one knows hardly anything about it. The website that they put up is talking about job opportunities and training people to program and those kind of things, basic startup stuff. Atari hasn't really been a very big name in gaming for probably 25 years or more. They turned into a software manufacturer after the failure of the Jaguar, and it's not solely because of that, but lots of things just happened that kind of bogged them down, and they ended up almost filing bankruptcy several times. I think they actually ended up filing bankruptcy once. But they released the Jaguar. It was a horrible mess to program for. Messes hardware. It had a CD attachment. It was just horrible all the way around. And then they started having they actually had the Atari ST, which was a pretty competent computer that made them some money that people loved. They started having competition and problems in that area. Um, and it all just sort of fell in on them, and they ended up leaving the hardware manufacturing side altogether for as far as micro PCs and um, consoles, home consoles, and became a third-party developer making just software, sort of like Sega did. But they weren't really good as a third-party software developer either. Some of the games they've released are just horrible, trying to cash in on some IPs that they owned to make a quick buck. Well, long story short, uh, they've returned to profitability, and for the last 10 years, they've been pretty profitable. And unbeknownst to most people in the industry, they've been dropping money into R&D to come up with a brand new console. And all they've said about it is yes, it's going to be they're back in the hardware manufacturing market, and they are basing this new console on PC technology. Now, what does that mean? Who knows? Is it going to be like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4? Is it going to be like the Xbox One X and the PlayStation 4 Pro? Is it going to actually be a actual flashback system that just plays new games? What is it really going to be? No one really knows. I personally don't think it's going to be a flashback system because seeing how the CEO came out and said, yes, we are back in the hardware manufacturing uh, sector of the industry. And it's kind of exciting for me because my first system that I fell in love with games on was an Atari. And I would love to be able to purchase a brand new Atari system that that like I've said, I'm not holding to a piece of plastic. If it provides good value at a decent price and it has the games, I would be more than happy to drop a few $100s on a brand new Atari system. And I'm having a bit of a surreal moment here, sitting here having this commentary video come up talking about a brand new Atari system. It just kind of freaking me out, really, and it's surreal. And it's a really weird time in gaming right now. This is the first generation where we've had consoles not get cheaper as the gen has gone on. They have actually either stayed the same or become more expensive. In the case of PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, they've pretty much stayed the same. And right now, here we are 4 almost 5 years into this generation, and despite what people say, it's coming to an end, and consoles are supposed to be getting cheaper, and they're not. And then out of left field comes Atari saying, yes, they're back in the hardware sector. So it's kind of hard and surreal and weird. I mean, you have Nintendo doing their hybrid system, which they're calling a home console first and foremost, but everyone knows it's not. It's a flat out handheld. And then Atari comes out and says new hardware, PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox One X, and it's just really weird. Now, a little bit of speculation from me on what this new Atari system could be. So, I think honestly the best thing they can do is take a page from the Xbox One X. All next gen systems need to have a base of starting with something like the Xbox One X. Now, that means that game consoles, unfortunately, the price is going to go up. Nobody wants to pay more than $400 for a video game console. That's absolutely a given. The industry shows you time and time again that that's kind of the threshold. But I think the spot the Xbox One X falls down at is the APU and the Jaguar cores that they're using. If they had like say Ryzen um, in that APU, I think the Xbox One X would have been a much better home run at $500 with a much stronger CPU, able to do a base 1080p at 60 frames per second, and then possibly 60 frames per second at 4K in some games. Because the optimization that consoles get, they are able to get more out of the hardware that they have. So I think Atari needs to take a page from the Xbox One X and take a hard look at that setup and try to use it as a base starting point. Um, 12 gigs of RAM, maybe do 16 gigs of RAM, with having 10 gigs available for games, and then a terabyte hard drive, coupled with a GPU like the Xbox One X has, that has 6 to 7 teraflops. Because this thing, who knows how long the actual development is going to take for this Atari box to actually come out. Is it almost ready to go? Are we going to see it at E3 next year, going on sale holiday 2018? Who knows? If it is ready for that, I'm hoping that we are going to see something that's the level of the Xbox One X at a base minimum. But what I would like to see is a GPU as powerful as the Xbox One X, or maybe even a little more, maybe an 8 teraflop GPU, something closer to like a 1070 GTX 1070 or a Radeon 570 or 580. Um, Love to see a Ryzen CPU in there, or maybe Intel's next generation would be just too expensive. That's the reason why the console manufacturers this gen went with AMD, because they were just cheaper. But Ryzen, Epic, and Threadripper, the three new architectures coming out from AMD, are getting phenomenal results in gaming and CPU usage and all that stuff. So, plus AMD is getting ready to drop their new A12 APU, which reportedly you can play things like Battlefield 1 on it in medium to high settings. So it'd be great to see like an APU in there that would be like the A12 based, which would be a Ryzen based APU cores with Vega or maybe even a Polaris GPU in there. That would be phenomenal. Um, because what the PlayStation 4 Pro is able to accomplish, it's able to do that because it has borrowed some Polaris architectural technology and put it in the GPU that's in the PlayStation 4. So it'd be great to see that going on. And then the next thing though is that hardware aside, everybody likes to talk specs, but hardware aside, the damn thing has to have games. So then you have to ask yourself, with Atari being out of the hardware manufacturing industry or portion of the industry for so many years, 20 plus years now, how the hell are they going to pull this off? What IPs does Atari have left that they haven't sold off to try and stay out of bankruptcy, or they're coming out of bankruptcy? What good IPs do they still own? What kind of new IPs are they going to bring to the table? How are they going to differentiate themselves from PlayStation 4 Pro, Xbox One X, and Nintendo? Um, what are they going to do that's different? Is it going to be a cartridge-based system? Is it going to be like Nintendo went back to basically carts? They have SD cards, but it's basically a cartridge-based system. Nintendo went back to a physical form. Xbox One X, for all intents and purposes, is pushing a physical form with 4K Blu-ray. PlayStation is still using Blu-rays. What's Atari going to use? Are they going to use Blu-ray? Are they going to use 4K Blu-ray? Are they going to use some proprietary form that like Nintendo tries to do, like Nintendo does every generation? How are the games going to be delivered? Is it going to be all digital? Is it going to be basically, are we just going to see like a Steam machine? Is that what it's going to be? So these are all great questions that are going to be answered over the next few months, and I'm excited again. I was excited before E3, and E3 was kind of a letdown. There wasn't a whole lot to get amped about, besides a few game announcements. But in general, E3 was kind of lackluster for me, and I felt so. My excitement for the industry kind of has been dimming down for the last few weeks. But this Atari has me back. This Atari news has me back at the top. I'm back up there. I'm excited again. I can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the table and see what this thing actually is. So that's it for this video, guys. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have some other ideas of what you would like to see the channel do, please leave them in the comment section below. Please share, like, favorite, and subscribe. And if you haven't had a chance to, check out the games that are in this video. Darksiders 2, phenomenal game on sale for $5 on PSN. Transformers Devastation, also on sale, I think, on PSN. And then Ark Survival Evolved, I would suggest you avoid that game at all costs. It's way over expensive for a uh, pre-alpha, unreleased game that's in early access on PC. It's $55 on PS4. It's only like 30 bucks on Steam. So you're going to get ripped off if you try and pick it up. So I would avoid it. And I may make a video on why later on. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on.